Rozjele się!
What's going on here, my friend?
Overtimo!
Hi, I'm Whitey the White Guy. This is Cracker. This is the Whitey the White Guy show. And today we're going to talk about Red Dawn, the original film that came out in 1980, starring Patrick Swayze and a shit ton of other people. Now, I saw this film when I was a kid and loved it. Cracker saw this
saw this
movie
about 10 days ago.
and hated it.
Fucking hated it.
Fucking hated it. So today we're going to discuss Red Dawn with Patrick Swayze. Go first. Well, I'll give you the synopsis. Red Dawn came out in 1986, 87, somewhere in there. The Cold War was still going strong. Everybody was still afraid about the Russians. And if you grew up in the Cold War, you were afraid about the Russians invading the United States. Mm-hmm. So this captured on that. The other thing it did, I thought, because prior to 9/11, for you kids who are under 30, with oceans on both sides, friendly countries to the north and south, we never had to worry about being invaded. We hadn't ever had to worry about our rights and freedoms being taken away from another country, another entity. So this, from what I liked about it, was it kind of popped that bubble and put American kids, you know, clean-cut white kids from the country, into that circumstance that people from perhaps Afghanistan or something would be going through with the Soviet invasion. I
could see why you would like it from that time when you saw it from a young kid, because like you just said, that never happened. But now, circa 2015, now it's old news.
Now you haven't seen the new one, and I haven't seen the remake. And part of the reason why is, like you were just saying, the fuck is the point?
I think of the remake that it's North Korea instead of the Russians.
But it's like, because we've had 9/11, because we're in a more globalized society, it's lost its importance. When it first came out,
there was no impact felt at all. You know,
in that period of time in the 80s, the rest of the world was over there. We were over here. And what happens if the rest of the world showed up angry and pissed off at us? Whereas now, we have tens of millions of illegal aliens from all over the world pouring in. And we're used to being part of the rest of the world. So there was a little bit, this film took our virginity. It popped our cherry and destroyed our innocence. Thank you, Patrick Swayze, for destroying my innocence.
I'm sure you're not the first person that has told him that.
You're destroying my innocence, Patrick Swayze!
Now, see, the thing, you know, it started off really, really good. I mean, you know, you're in this classroom of just regular, stereotypical high schoolers. I think they're seniors, maybe. And then just out of nowhere, you got all these Russians paratrooping into the outside field. And, you know, you got the teacher, you know, going to see what the hell is going on. He's blown away, you know, shot to shit. And then it's basically the rest of the movie is this group, you know, like 3 or 4 people, I think. You know, Charlie Sheen's one of them, Pony Boy from The Outsiders is another.
Also known as C. Thomas Howell.
Yeah, Pony Boy from The Outsiders is one of them.
Another guy from The Outsiders, I don't remember his name offhand, with the curly black hair, who was there. But here's the...
And then what happens is they get weapons from, I think, the local shop owner.
Yeah, it's C. Thomas Howell's. Now, I've only seen it 500 times. C. Thomas Howell, or Robert, his dad owns the local gas station, which has weapons, shotguns, and 30-30s. So they get some supplies and stuff. And then they pick up 2 girls from some local farmer. They don't explain who he is really. They just
he just wants them to take his girls so they can
his granddaughters and get them out of there. And so they end up in the mountains, and they end up kind of accidentally at first going on the offensive against the Russians and defending their country, guerrilla warfare.
Right,
style.
and just my main problem I'm sure this was done on purpose. It made the Russian soldiers look like complete idiots. Right. Being able to being taken out by a group of high schoolers who have had
no military training
our knowledge, no training. They're creating booby traps. They're hiding under homemade.
But to guerrilla warfare, the defense of, I don't remember the writer's name, but to the defense of the writer, this is part of kind of a phenomenon that goes back throughout time, where a conventional military takes on an indigenous population. And, you could parallel it to the Vietnam War.
Right.
You could parallel it to the American Revolution. If in the film, one of the Colonel Bueta, is going, I've seen this before in Honduras, I've seen this before in Venezuela, I've seen this before, but these are my men. So as you can see, this is something that's happened throughout the world, throughout history, and then this film puts you into that situation.
Nicaragua, El Salvador, Samboy, Mongolia, y México.
Pero estos son míos.
The other thing I was going to add on what you're talking about, the opening scene at the high school, you go back to 1985, 1986, I think I probably saw it in 87. We've never seen anything like that before in film. You've never seen anything like that before, where there's a scene where they first open up, everybody's watching the field, and then some Russian guy sweeps the windows with a Kalashnikov, and you see some kid with a bullet in his head lying there dead. We've never seen anything like that. And before this, even just a few years before, if you saw... what was it called? All Quiet on the Western Front or something. They still had what was called bucketing. Yeah. If you're not familiar, bucketing is where some guy goes, bah! And jumps forward, so you know he's dead because there was no blood, there was no anything. So to suddenly have this was a shock to the system.
Yeah, I give it credit for breaking a lot of ground for what it was, but it's just...
And to see that RPG go flying into the bus, you never saw stuff like that because they didn't have the technology even 2 or 3 years before to film something like this. And
the thing is, I was watching it with my wife, and she got so bored, she didn't finish the movie, she went and left.
Are you kidding?
And she's only 2 or 3 years older than me, but like I said, this was the first time we saw it, and I think we both agreed is, how could a movie with this much action be so goddamn boring?
But you put, again, we've seen since Saving Private Ryan, we've seen since... Terminator and now you have CG this and CG that and shit comes flying at you, and then you go back to the 80s,
right?
So this was, you have to put, it's no different than Frankenstein. You have to put Frankenstein's monster. Now it's fucking laughable. At the time, people were shitting themselves,
right? So
that goes for any art. You have to put the art form and the time it came out, and to the audience that it was written for, because they're going to understand the importance of it. You missed it because you saw it 30 years too late.
Right. Because everyone else who has been older than me that I've talked to about this just said this was the greatest fucking movie they've ever seen.
At the time it was.
They're 11, 12 years older than me. They saw it when it came out. And kids today are not going to be able to sit through. I mean, this movie's almost 2 hours. They're not going to be able to sit through this because they've all seen it before. And we've been through all these conflicts with the other countries before. It's nothing new. Because
9/11 happened. Yeah, I don't remember who I was talking to. I asked somebody once. I was like, "Where were you when 9/11 happened?" I'm like, "I don't remember." I'm like, "I was coming home from fucking work."
Yeah, my dad.
I was on the job.
Right. You were on the job because we worked together. You were on the job. My dad had just woken me up because I was going to wake up and get ready to go to work within the hour. And right when I woke up, actually, the second plane hit. And I'm like, "Holy shit!" This is the first thing we, as Americans, have ever had on our soil since World War II. And this is the first time our generation has ever dealt with it.
Exactly.
Which is why...
So when you go back to the original viewing of Red Dawn, we'd never experienced anything like that as a country. And it would be shocking for high school kids, preppy teenagers, to have to go survive this stuff when, and that's part of why I loved it, because I grew up poor in a poor family. and we would look at stuff like Full House and go, fuck.
Yeah.
Life is nothing like that.
Exactly.
Like, where's the meth? Where's the gunfire? Where's the stabbings?
Right.
And so I love something like this because it pops that bubble of those prissy do-gooders going, fuck you, this is reality, gotta deal with it now.
Try! Hold it back! Let it turn to something else. Just let it turn to something else, okay? Listen. Don't cry. Don't you ever cry again. As long as you live. As long as you live, never do it. You hear me?
They're gonna kill us! All of us!
So why should we be different? Let it turn to something else, Manny. Let it turn. Let it turn.
I didn't
And I
missed it completely.
I really, but you're making great points.
But you love Catwoman, so fuck you.
I didn't love Catwoman.
His
I
favorite
finished
film.
Catwoman.
Favorite fucking movie he's ever seen.
All I'm
He's
gonna
jerking
say
off
is,
the
all
whole
I'll
time.
say is, kids, if you want to watch America versus the Russians, just go watch Rocky IV. At least there's boxing, Dolph Lundgren's, and a talking robot.
How could you give a fuck about Dolph? His name is Dolph, and he's Swedish. He's not even Russian. What's the point? Oh, God. And Rocky can suck a bag of dicks. He lost me after 2. Like, it got so... We're going to kill off Apollo. Oh, no. Is this a soap opera now? We're killing off Apollo? He's going to die? It's every fucking stereotypical fight movie. You might as well pop in Van Damme in 15 or 16 of the films he's made. He's got his buddy. His buddy dies. He has to avenge his buddy's death against the main bad guy. Jerk me off, Sally. So, Red Dawn, infinitely better. Anything else to add to the Red Dawn?
Nothing.
It was fantastic. It was
No.
fucking fantastic. The score was great.
Okay, I'll give it that. The score was
The
great.
moving score.
The action was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But the hour and a half between the action,
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
But imagine, if you've seen C. Thomas Howell
Mm-hmm.
and The Outsiders
Mm-hmm.
and Patrick Swayze and the other guy who's curly hair, Darren Dalton.
I don't know.
What's his name? Darren Dalton.
Yeah, I know. He was one of the socias.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so imagine having seen them in The Outsiders as these naive kids and all this
Well,
stuff.
and this was
And
young
teen
Charlie.
magazines.
This was
and all
also
this
young
stuff.
Charlie Sheen too.
Yes,
before he-
young Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
Pre-Coke Charlie Sheen.
Exactly. It was like before Major
The Coke
League.
machine Charlie Sheen. And they're shooting up some Ruskies and having philosophical debates on, is it okay? And that's the other thing too. It's a philosophical debate. Is it okay to kill people? In this circumstance, whereas in
If it's
another
for survival, I don't
circumstance,
see why not.
Exactly, but tell that to Jesus. Jesus is going to be like, fuck you. You killed a bunch of Russians. I made those Russians. They swim out of my balls and into creation.
Well, Jesus also made Dolph Lundgren.
He made, fuck him. Fuck you. Fuck you, Jesus.
Blindfolds? This is violated the Geneva Convention. I never heard of it. Dogface! I show you how Soviet dies. I've seen it before, pal. This isn't happening. This isn't happening. Jet, let him go! Shut up, Danny! He was one of us! Shut up! He told them where we were! He did. Now get your rifles. No! What did you say? I said no! We're not doing it! Boy, say it to you, our friend, so I may not die alone. What's the difference, Jet, huh? I'll do it. Shut up, Robert! Tell me, what's the difference between us and them? Because we live here. Ah! Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't shoot yet.
I actually don't mind Dolph Lundgren. I just don't like his movies. But yeah, so it's an interesting philosophical debate. What would you do if? So for that reason, he's completely wrong, and Red Dawn is the Shizen. Are we good on that? We're good?
Sure.
We're good? We're good. Red Dawn, the original, check it out, and forget about the remake. Nobody cares. So I'm Whitey. It's the Whitey White Guy Show. This is Cracker. Have sex with your hand.